I've been keeping this man waiting on line 5, and I apologize for that. The MHA for Mount Pearl South, Mr. Paul Lane, representing the Liberal Party of Newfoundland and Labrador. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Jonathan. Great to be on, and I listened to your last caller, and all I can think of is the expression, there, but for the grace of God go I, and I really hope that he gets the help he needs, and I'm sure Jerry is a very compassionate person. I know she'll do whatever she can to help him.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't think we should stop there. I think we should all try and pitch in because, there before the grace of God, Paul, you said it. I mean, many of us have been in positions where we've almost been in that type of situation, and I know people with bulging discs, and I know from watching the expressions on their face just how hard it is to get out of bed, let alone try and go back to work with a condition like that. So he's a brave man, and we're going to try and get him some help. He said Prince of Wales Street is where he's to. Is that in the downtown core? I'm not familiar with that street.
Prince of Wales is off of Pennywell Road, is in the area of the old Prince of Wales Arena and Bishop's College.
Yeah, okay.
Memorial, that general vicinity.
I know exactly where it is now. Thanks.
Yeah, it's down towards St. Clair Avenue there.
Right, Paul. Speaking of Bishop's College, you've been called out to do a part of the talent show for the variety show, which I think follows the pancake breakfast. So be prepared, my friend.
I'm in, my friend. I'm game for anything, as you know.
Definitely.
And I'm looking forward to the whole reunion. I, like yourself, was a graduate of Bishop's. It was a great high school. It's going to be sad to see it close, but I suppose it's I guess it's outlived its useful life, and we have to move on. But we can certainly have the memories to treasure for a lifetime.
That is absolutely correct. Well said indeed. And memories for a lifetime. Somebody on Twitter yesterday posted my grade, I think it must have been grade 10 or grade 11 photo from the Bishop's yearbook, and I gotta say, I had fabulous hair back then, and now that memory lives forever in the digital world. It's pretty funny, indeed. So listen, what's on your mind tonight?
I had hair down to my shoulders, as I recall, at that point in time, and now I don't have enough enough on my head to I don't know what expression I'm looking for. I don't have much on my head anyway.
I gotta say, we're going to change the expression here. It's not there but for the grace of God. It's there but for the grace of genetics that I have a full head of hair now, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jonathan, the reason why I wanted to call, I wanted just to call about the new bicycle helmet legislation.
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously, in my role as a critic for Service NL and all of my colleagues, I guess, in their role in the opposition, we have a role to play to, I guess, point out deficiencies and be critical and offer suggestions and so on. But when government does something good, I think it's important that we acknowledge that as well. And so I was very pleased to speak to that piece of legislation and to support it. It's certainly something that the official opposition has called on for the last year or so, and it was actually a resolution at the Liberal convention. And so I'm very pleased that government went down this road. I think some other members, I believe it may have been Jerry Rogers or someone I heard in the media talking about the fact that we need to do more in terms of implementing similar legislation for skateboards, scooters, and
the two fellas that ride unicycles.
So yeah, absolutely. And I would concur with that. I mean, the reason why we're doing it is for safety, for head injury, and certainly we've had representation from the Brain Injury Association, from the Newfoundland Labrador Medical Association, and a number of other groups in the medical field that have talked about, the number of head injuries that we have every year here in Newfoundland and Labrador, and the damage that can be caused, when you're not wearing a helmet. So, I think to put this measure in place, I think is a positive thing, and I too would certainly call upon government now that this is a good first step, but we need to look at other legislation as well to cover things such as skateboards and scooters and so on to protect people.
Do you really think that this helmet legislation will actually prevent injuries? There's been some arguments that I've been listening to over the past couple of days. One of them from one of my bestest friends from, really from life. We met in St. Mary's in grade. What is that? Grade kindergarten, grade 1. And he says, and he's an avid cyclist, in Toronto, for example. And he said, listen to this, to all my friends in Newfoundland who seem to be grappling with proposed mandatory helmet laws for bicycle riders, before everyone gets into a tizzy, please understand that there's no evidence that mandatory helmet laws actually make cycling more safe. In fact, helmet laws have been proven to deter ridership. And Josh Taylor was talking about this yesterday with Pete. Lower levels of ridership actually do have an impact on safety as they directly relate to lower levels of awareness. This is interesting, and safety education levels among both drivers and cyclists. Also, lower ridership also means less investment in the infrastructure. Spending on infrastructure is highly connected to ridership and safety. So here's what I think is interesting. We would, I think, perhaps benefit from more bike lanes and more rider awareness, from drivers. This might be an impossible dream, very Don Quixote in the world where everyone is driving with one eye on their cell phone as they text. Yeah. Certainly they're not looking for cyclists. I don't know if the helmet legislation is going to help mitigate head injury. I don't know. I think that the argument for good infrastructure, reducing total accidents, might be a better way to go.
Well, you know what? I think that there could be a combination of all things. I mean, obviously, if we have better infrastructure, as has been suggested, I think that would be a positive thing as well. And I mean, obviously, if you're riding a bicycle, for example, and I'll just take an adult, or it doesn't have to be an adult, but
sure,
just for argument's sake, and you're riding down the highway, and obviously, if you were riding down the highway and you got struck by a vehicle that was going 70 or 80 or 90 kilometers an hour, I'm not so sure that the helmet is going to save you.
Nope.
But certainly, if you have a small child in particular who's riding their bicycle or whatever, along the sidewalk or the driveway or whatever, and they tip the bike over and they smack their head off to the side of the concrete or the pavement or whatever the case might be, then the experts, the doctors and so on, and the people from the Brain Injury Association are saying that having that helmet on is certainly going to help prevent brain injury. Now, maybe it won't totally prevent it. Maybe it wouldn't be as bad as if they had no helmet. I mean, maybe there'd be some damage, but not as much damage. But to my mind, if you're going to have a helmet or something on that's going to protect your body from impact, then I can't see that being a negative thing, to be honest with you. That's my opinion.
Okay. No, I agree. Listen, protect your noggin is a very important thing to do. But you're right. I mean, your kneecaps might be smashed if you're hit by a car at 80. Your elbows might not work afterwards. It's a law of diminishing returns, I suppose. No, wait, that's not the right expression. But you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Your head is one thing, but the rest of your body, as it flies through the air, if you're hit by a vehicle because they're not paying attention, it's almost, I don't know, a non-starter, really. But you have to start somewhere, and you might as well start where your brain is.
Well, absolutely, and that's the most vulnerable area. And I think, as one of the doctors with the Medical Association who was at the press conference yesterday, I believe it was her, said that, if you were in an accident and, for example, and you were struck, if you broke an arm or a leg or whatever, you can put a cast on it or whatever, and it can heal after a period of time. You don't have that same luxury when it comes to a brain injury. So anything that we can do to enhance that protection of that part of the body, then I see it as a positive. Obviously, there's a lot of awareness that comes around this, and just because we're addressing that aspect of safety doesn't mean that we stop there and not address some of the other things that your friend suggested as well. I think sometimes it's a combination of many things that can be done to help improve safety for everybody.
Wisdom from Mount Pearl tonight. Thank you, Pauline. You said it well, and if I don't see you before the pancake breakfast on the 19th, I'm going to wish you a good couple of days. And until then, rebel yell, brother. Rebel yell.
Absolutely, Jonathan. John, before I go, I just want to make a quick, just one little quick thing on another note. This Saturday, Mount Pearl Minor Hockey, they spearhead this the last couple of years, and I think they are going to be joined by some students from, I think, Mount Pearl Senior High and the city are going to be involved as well. and St. Vincent de Paul, Mary Queen of the World, and St. Peter's Parish. And we're going to be having a food drive. It's going to be starting at 10 a.m. This Saturday. They're going to be knocking on every single door within the city of Mount Pearl to collect food for the food bank. And so I just wanted to give that a plug, and certainly to say to people, if you're going to be, if you're going to be getting up early on Saturday and going out before 10 o'clock, or if you're going to be going out of town on Friday or whatever, then, if you could take a couple of non-perishable food items and even tie it to the doorknob or put it on the step or whatever so they can come around and collect it, it would be very much appreciated, and we can all do our part to help those that are in need.
Excellent. You're absolutely right. Thanks a lot, Paul. We're going to go to the break now, and food drives all over. I was wondering when Mount Pearl was going to step up and try and compete with the city of St. John's £100,000. This is going to be good because everybody wins.
Absolutely. It's all about doing our part for the community, and we're more than happy to step up in the city of Mount Pearl any time to do our part.
Good. You take care, Paul.
All right.
We'll speak
you too.
Bye-bye.
Okay, buddy. All the best.
Cheers.
Bye.